Okay, folks, what's going on? Swinging Bull here with PB Alerts and this week's earnings stream. We're going to be going over FedEx earnings and also Nike earnings. FedEx reports at 4:05 p.m. Eastern, which is in about 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and jump right into FedEx. And then after they announce their earnings, then we'll talk about Nike a little bit. Nike reports at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. So quick look at the heat map. Do got lots of green here. Apple down pretty big here. Got hit with a antitrust lawsuit by the Justice Department. So they were down 3% earlier, finishing out the day down over 4%. They say they're going to fight the Justice Department on it. So we'll see what happens with them and any announcements that come out later. But everything else nice and green. Google kind of flat, a little bit red. Microsoft green almost 1%, NVIDIA green over 1%. So heat map, looks good outside of a couple oddball stocks that are red. So market sector information, believe it or not, industrials on top of the pack today. I haven't seen that in a while. Followed by financials and then the energy sector. To round out the bottom, we got health, information technology, consumer staple, and utilities. So with that said, we do, Fed Chair Powell is talking tomorrow at 9 a.m., some sort of Fed Listens event. So whatever that is, and then Michael Barr tomorrow at 12 noon, and then Bostic at 4 p.m. But Fed Powell is speaking tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, so just be cognizant of that. Jumping into FedEx, they're going to report in about 4 minutes. The EPS forecast is $3.49. The forecasted revenue is $22.04 billion. So we'll see what they end up coming in at. Just taking a quick look at tip ranks, we got FedEx strong buy based on 13 analysts. Let's kind of look at their EPS. A little bit of a big mixed bag here as far as whether they beat EPS. The last earnings they reported on December 18th of 2023 last year, they did miss EPS just by a little bit. Before that, it was 4 earnings back to back. They had no problem beating EPS, and they had a couple misses before that. So a little bit of a mixed bag. We'll see how the price reacts to the earnings data. The price of FedEx 1 day after earnings for the previous earnings, the last one, they were down 12%. The next day. So be careful of that, but kind of a mixed bag here. It's kind of red, green, if you will. So December 18th, they were red the next day. September 20th, they were green the next day. June 20th of 2023, they were red the next day. And then March 16th, they were green the next day. So kind of flipping back and forth. Is this kind of pattern going to hold up? And are we finally going to, we're going to see a positive reaction to FedEx on this earnings? So we'll see what happens. Let's go back to the candlesticks here because it does look like FedEx is getting a little bit of volatility already. The data is going to come out in about 2 more minutes. I'm going to flip to the 1 minute chart so we can kind of zoom in a little bit. Let me pull FedEx up over here as well, my trading view. And we go to the 1 minute on this and see what we're getting here. So yeah, just getting some flickery candle action going on. Let's see. Yep, got about 1 more minute. I'm going to have my screen pulled up on the side. So as soon as we get the earnings results from FedEx, I'll be able to post that for everybody on YouTube and Twitter and what have you. Get the ticker symbol typed out here, FDX. And got about 45 more seconds, and we'll see if FedEx makes a move up or down. After FedEx reports, we'll see what the initial move is and kind of see what's going on. But I did want to jump to Nike right after that because I did have a trade set up from earlier today on that I wanted to go over with everybody. So it's any moment now. We'll get the data from FedEx. Excuse me, let me mute that. All right, so any second now, and we will get the EPS and revenue and possibly some forward guidance on FedEx. It's getting some flickering candles right now. Okay, got any second now. 2, 1, 0. Okay, so The data should be out. Let me refresh my other screen here and see what we got. We'll see if this is going to be a positive reaction or a negative reaction. There was quite a bit of flow on FedEx before the regular session closed. So a bunch of sweeps coming through and some block orders. Had some kind of a mixture of puts and calls. Okay, here we go. Looks like we're finally getting a move on FedEx. It's a down move so far, down to 261. Now it's moved back up. So still getting some flickering. Technically down. And okay, so here we go. Here's some selling down to 258. Looks like it closed right around 264. So down 2.5%. Candle stopped moving, so we'll see if this is going to flicker back up or is it going to continue down. Okay, so and sometimes the initial move is kind of like a not the real move that's going to happen. So we did get a wick down, and it's wicked right back up to 263 now. So still kind of waiting on the move. 4:06 p.m. Eastern. Again, Nike reports at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. So I want to give myself a couple minutes to go over a Nike trade I had set up earlier. Okay, getting a little bit of buying on FedEx after it wicked down to 258. Let's see if this holds. Little surprising we haven't gotten a solid move yet. The expected move on FedEx was let me see here. This would be the expected move for tomorrow, end of the day tomorrow, plus or minus 19 bucks, y'all. So that we haven't seen the move yet. Okay, so it hasn't even moved very much, and you can easily get the expected move. Just go to, if you have Thinkorswim, or if you don't, download it, and then you can get it right on the option chain. If you want to see the expected move for that expiration date, it'll tell you over here on the right. So plus or minus 19 bucks basically. Let's go back to the candlesticks. Still kind of just flat. Nike getting a move already. Their earnings haven't been released yet. They're supposed to release at 4:15, so we're getting some anticipatory price action on Nike before the data's come out. Still waiting on some data on FedEx. I'll let you know as soon as it comes in. I know Weeble's really late at posting the news data, so I got some other sources pulled up on the side here. So as soon as I get it up, I'll let everybody know. Refresh my screen. Well, it just seems to be FedEx earnings data still being digested because we haven't really seen a move yet. A little wick down to, we got this wick down to 258, but bounced right back. Okay, now we're getting a move here. Just remember, expected move plus or minus 19 bucks. Whichever direction it decides to go, I think we're going to get a pretty solid move out of it. Okay, we got FedEx on the way up here. So again, just like I said before, that initial wick down to 258, that was not the right move, and we see that a lot with earnings. It'll like wick down and then it'll decide to go, or it'll wick up and then it decides to sell off dramatically. So here we go. This is the move, folks. So far, congrats on the FedEx bulls. This looks like this is the move here. Let me see if I can get some EPS and revenue data here. Okay. Still waiting. We got about 7 more minutes before Nike reports. Let me go over the Nike trade while I'm still waiting on the FedEx data, because we got a couple minutes before they report. So expected move on Nike, I believe it was $6 earlier. Let me double check. Okay, so it's up to almost $8 now. So up $7.93 up or down expected move for March 22nd expiration. So the trade that I opened up on Nike, let's just go over their EPS. So forecast EPS is 0.69. Forecast revenue 12.29 billion. So pretty solid revenue there that they're being forecasted. And moderate buy on 28 analysts rating. There's a lot of analysts there. They usually have no problem beating EPS. They did have a little hiccup on June 29th when they reported there. They just missed it by 0.02. So I wouldn't even really consider that a big miss at all. That's just a very tiny miss. Other than that, no problem beating EPS by Nike. Earnings per share is pretty solid there. Reactions to Nike's price one day after previous earnings. The last one was pretty bad. They were down 11%, almost 12% the next day. So we know that they beat EPS. They probably beat the revenue too, but probably had some bad forward guidance where they probably had to adjust it downwards for whatever reason. So negative reaction on that, and we see that a lot. Companies will beat EPS and beat revenue, sometimes beat it by a lot, and then sometimes they adjust the forward guidance downwards and it totally wrecks everything, and it's investors just hate that and it sells off. So they were green 6.68% on September, the day after September 28th when they reported there. So we'll see what shakes out here, but got about 5 more minutes. I wanted to go over the trade here, and this was inverse iron condor. Okay, I opened this up earlier. Risk reward, you're risking 66 to make 34, so obviously not 1-to-1 there, but as I explained the trade to you, I'll definitely, you guys will definitely understand. I'm not going to be risking this entire 66 bucks. But inverse iron condor, so complete opposite of a regular iron condor, where a regular iron condor is a credit spread on each side of the price. Inverse iron condor is actually a debit spread on each side of the price. Okay, so I sold the 106 call, I bought the 105 call, and then I bought the 97 put, and then I sold the 96 put, and that there forms the inverse iron condor, and that's for Friday's expiration. The catalyst, so we pull these out, these inverse iron condors, when we're expecting a move. Okay, so for this trade, I only need Nike to go down, like $4 to the downside, and then $5, about $5 to the upside. So that's kind of the move that I'm trying to get out of it. And as you can see, it's kind of a neutral strategy, because I don't really care if Nike goes to the moon or if it burns to the ground. As you can see, I get paid in either direction. Now, this is not a risk-free trade, because we definitely don't want Nike to stay in this red tent by Friday. That's when you're going to take the loss there. If you hold this till Friday and it's still in this red tent here, yes, you will take the $66 loss. But I'm banking on a move tonight, basically in 3 minutes when they announce the earnings, or by tomorrow morning. If the price of Nike is not outside of my red tent by tomorrow morning, then this inverse iron condor is actually still going to be worth something. And then I'll go ahead and just sell it and take a small loss. And I can show you on the table here. Let me just fix this range. So let's just say, for instance, so this is tomorrow's date here. Let's say I wake up tomorrow morning and we did not get the move we were looking for on Nike. As you can see, this inverse iron condor, if Nike was to stay flat for whatever reason, you can see here on the table that it's still going to be worth something, and I actually could sell this tomorrow if we don't get the move, and I'm only taking like a $26 loss, like in the mid $20 area. That would kind of be my loss if I went ahead and sold it in the morning, assuming that we didn't get the move. And as you can see, since I would only be taking a loss of around 26 bucks, then technically, as long as I manage the position accordingly, I'm only risking 26 bucks to make 34. So, in theory, my risk reward is better than 1-to-1, because I will manage the trade. I'm not just going to open it and forget about it. And there's no way that I would incur this $66 loss no matter what, because if we don't get the move we're looking for, either above 105 and some change or below 96 and some change, and it ends up staying in this red tent for whatever reason, I'll go ahead and just stop out of the play, take a tiny loss, and I'll move on with my day. But if we do get the move, as you can see, I'll be at max profit here. And this is $34 max profit for each one. So I actually entered a handful of these, and we'll see how it shakes out at the back. All right, so let me go back to the candlesticks. Nike's data should be out in about 20 seconds. We're already getting some movement here. Let me refresh my other screen for FedEx. Okay, got FedEx data. EPS came in at $3.86. Okay, the estimate was only $3.45. Let me post these earnings here, and then we'll jump back to Nike. But I wanted to get this FedEx earnings out. Let me get this posted on YouTube, and then we'll jump right back to Nike because they just announced. Okay, so FedEx EPS came in at $3.86 versus only $3.45 estimate. So they smashed EPS. Great job there, FedEx. Sales, they actually missed sales, y'all. Came in a little under the forecast. Now we're getting a nice bullish reaction. So what's that tell us? They obviously increased their forward guidance, causing this rally because they missed revenue. But they did smash EPS. So a little bit of a mixed bag with EPS and revenue. You know, they beat one and missed the other. But obviously, positive reaction. Investors are liking what's going on with the FedEx earnings data. And there must have been an adjustment upwards on the forward guidance, and investors were loving that. Nike, let's go back to Nike. Okay, like I said, for my trade to work out, I needed above basically 105 and some change, and we're below 96 and some change. So let's see, we already got a wick to 106, then it wicked down to 96.78, and now it's trying to come back up here to baseline. For the FedEx chart on the left side here, go ahead and slap a Fibonacci on this. Just kind of trying to keep my eyeball on 25% retracement here, and that's basically where it's at now. So we'll see if we get a bounce at that. A lot of times we'll see either a bounce, at this 25%, which is right around 289 on FedEx, sitting at 291 right now. So I'll keep this chart on the left. Let's see if this 25% fib level holds up and it ends up making a higher high in after hours. And if that happens, that's because it's already made the first high there, pulled back a little bit, made another high, pulled back. Let's see if it makes another little third leg up. If that happens, and then I'd have some confidence saying that, definitely congrats to the bulls at that point. Because, these things can turn around in after hours, but we'll see. So far, FedEx looks like it's holding up here, up almost 10% in after hours. Back to Nike. Looks like we got, let me zoom into the 1 minute chart on Nike. So first candle was a wick down or a wick up, wick down. Now buyers step back in here, trying to push it up. Okay, Matt Deal, hope I pronounced that right, on Twitter. He's got a $300 call on FedEx before market close. So far, it looks like you're going to be in good shape. I mean, if you bought that $300 call when FedEx was in the 260s and we open up, in the 290s tomorrow, I'd say it's probably safe to say you're going to have a great return on that, even though it's not in the money yet. I mean, if FedEx keeps, making higher highs and after hours, it very well could end up in the 300s by tomorrow morning. And then your $300 call will end up in the money. And now you're going to have very favorable Greeks in your favor. Of course, a very, very much higher delta on the in the money calls, and the theta is a little bit less than the out of the money calls. You get a benefit of less theta when they're in the money. Theta kind of, drops off a little bit. It's still there, but it's not as much. So far, your $300 call on FedEx is looking pretty good. So I just keep your eye on this 25%. We'd like the price to hold there. Worst case scenario, where it pulled back the first time right around the mid 280s, so like 285. So basically pretty clear levels here, 289 and 285. I would really like those two levels to hold for the bulls, and then maybe even make another high in after hours. Back over to Nike, getting some movement here. First candle was just kind of like on indecision, right? Because wick on bottom, wick on top. Didn't really know who was winning that battle. Buyers came out though, winning. And here we are trending back up. So we're already at 104.50. Like I said, I would like it to be above 105.66 by tomorrow morning. And then I should have some decent profit on my Condor tomorrow. So we got the results for FedEx. I got them posted for everybody. Let me refresh my screen over here and see if I can get some data on Nike, NKE, because I'm sure it's out by now. I was rambling on. Yep, here we go. Nike. All right, Nike's EPS. Again, this is kind of what I thought about the EPS. They smashed it. Came in at 0.98 versus 0.74 estimate. So let me post this. NKE. We got some results here. Go ahead and post that. And let me go ahead and share it on the screen. So Nike's EPS came in at 0.98 versus 0.74 estimate. So smashed EPS. Great job. Sales came in at 12.43 billion versus 12.28 billion. So they beat EPS and revenue. So they beat both sides there. Now it's just going to be about the forward guidance. Okay, so it's 4:20 p.m. Eastern. We'll see what happens like in the next 10 minutes. I'll keep streaming here for at least until 4:30. I did have some people asking how to join the Nike earnings call, and so I got some information for everybody here. Now these times are in Pacific time, but I'm gonna copy this this link here. Let me just go ahead and copy that. And then I'm going to post this for everyone because this is how you're going to join the earnings call with the CEO. Okay. And that's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern is when the CEO is going to do the web call. So let me go ahead and post that link for everybody for Nike. So NKE earnings call with CEO. And then I can go ahead and post this link for everyone. That's for anyone who wants to join the web call with Nike. They kind of, I mean, they're up a little bit in after hours, up, you know, $1 to $2. Nothing really dramatic going on with Nike at the moment. And, you know, Nike's expected move is over $7.90. So it's probably safe to assume that the move hasn't happened yet. So maybe people are going to wait to digest the earnings call with the CEO. But outside of that, they smashed EPS, they smashed revenue. It's all going to come down to the guidance. Okay. Let me go ahead and post the link for the earnings call with the CEO in case anyone wanted to join that call at 5 p.m. Eastern. So you're basically going to go to investors.nike.com and you'll be able to view the webcast with the CEO. Okay. Looks like we got a really nice group watching us right now. Got almost 400 people tuning in. Going back to FedEx just for a quick minute. I'm still holding above this 25% level. These fibs are really do line up, folks. So you know, just hovering above this 25%, as long as it holds that and we get a break, you know, starts trending up, obviously we're going to make a new higher high in after hours on FedEx, but looks like it's trying to form a bottom here right around 289. So we'll see if that holds up. Back to Nike. It is green in after hours, but kind of just like a mixture of you know, it's really haven't had a significant move yet. It closed right around $100. Let's see, zoom into this candle here. Closed, yeah, right around 101 maybe. And this thing's supposed to have like an $8 move, so I don't think we've seen the real move yet. It's at 103 here. And those expected, just so to clarify, those expected moves, those are not guarantees, okay? But what's the point? You know, the point of us, you know, we need to try and gain an edge somehow. And especially with my inverse iron condors, I figure out what the expected move is going to be. And then the move I'm looking for, I just try and be within the expected move. I don't want to ask for a move that's higher than the expected move. As long as I'm within the expected move, and even less, like, you know, like the expected move was almost $8. I just need like $4 or $5 move. So as long as I'm within the expected move, what it does, it just gives me some extra confidence in the trade. But you know, don't think for a second that those expected moves is exact science. Like it's gotta move $8. Like sometimes it moves double the expected move. Sometimes it moves half the expected move. Sometimes it moves the expected move. So you know, it can kind of just depends, right? But it's not a for sure thing. But it does give me added confidence that if I'm looking for a certain size move, I would like to be within the expected move to help boost the confidence a little bit. So let's go back to the candlesticks here. And also for my inverse iron condor, I have till Friday for the move to happen. But like I was saying before, I would like the move to happen tonight or tomorrow morning. Worst case scenario, maybe during the day tomorrow, it starts trending in one direction, and then I'll have some sweet profit on the table. If I'd say, by the end of the day tomorrow, if Nike's price for whatever reason is still in my red tent, then as you can see from the table, I'll go ahead and stop out of the play. And the loss that I would take would only be half of what this max loss is saying. So which puts me right at a 1-1 risk reward. So I like that just fine. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah, we got 399 people tuning in right now. Let me just repost the FedEx results for anyone just joining. So just to recap, FedEx, they beat EPS by a lot. They did miss revenue by a little bit, but like I say, this looks like to be an adjustment of forward guidance to the upside, and investors are taking that very positively. Hence the positive reaction to this earnings call, this earnings data, should I say. Back to Nike, still kind of just flat. It's just right back to basically where it closed at. So. I don't think it stays flat. We're going to get a move of some form or fashion. It just hasn't happened yet. And perhaps investors are waiting till 5 p.m. For the actual web call with the CEO. So we'll see what's going on there. Now that it's kind of back to flat, just want to kind of see what signals I'm getting on StockSpoy here. This is a indicator that was made by one of our in-house analysts, and so far, obviously looks bearish, but we'll see what happens. Let's see what FedEx looks like. So obviously this should have a nice bull signal here. Yeah, obviously got a bull signal down here on that candle, that's for sure. So got a little stop loss puck here. Let's see. Yep, right around 291. I'd probably go up the bottom of these wicks though, like around 289 and some change. So FedEx looking great. So congrats to the FedEx bulls. It doesn't look like this is coming back down, y'all. So we did have someone on Twitter, Matt Dale Pastrana, got a $300 call on FedEx before the market closed. So you should have a nice payday on that. Not sure what your expiration date is or any of that stuff, but I would assume with almost a 30-point move to the upside from probably when you bought it during the day today sometime, you're going to be up just pretty substantially on that, even though it's a little bit still out of the money. But on a $30 move in your direction, you are definitely going to have a pretty good payday tomorrow, I would think. And if this keeps trending up and your $300 call ends up in the money, then your returns are obviously going to be a lot more. Okay. So FedEx still holding this 25% fib, and we're getting a pretty good sized green candle here. This is now, keep in mind, this is the 1 minute chart, so we all know that can change on a dime, but it's starting to the buyers are still there. They're present, and it looks like they're wanting to push it up even more. So obviously just looking for a break of the 297.73 for a new after hours high. Nike still flat, and it's making me think that the actual move's going to come during the CEO call. Let me post that link again for everyone. So if you want to join the Nike earnings call with the CEO, just go to that link right there, investors.nike.com, and that's where you're going to be able to listen in on the call. Because right now, obviously that's what's going on. Investors are waiting for that call because unlike FedEx, who just came out the gate bullish and is holding up very well up here, $30 move to the upside, and it doesn't look like it's coming back down. Unlike that, Nike, had a little bit of volatility up and down, but now it's just flat. So it just leads me to believe it's going to be all about that call with the CEO. So that's at 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so Matt Deal on Twitter says the simulated return for tomorrow says $800. Nice. That would be a nice payday, man. On a Friday too. Friday payday. Let's go. Nice way to enter the weekend. Take some time, end the week on a nice win like that, and then enjoy the weekend with your family and friends, and recharge your batteries, and right back at it on Monday. Matt Deal says, love your channel. Just started a Twitter account. Like watching your lives. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I enjoy doing it. I've been trading for a little over 8 years now, and we actually have our Discord group. It's called PB Alerts. Anyone can join our group for free. The link's in the description if you want to join. It doesn't cost any. I'm not here to sell anybody anything. And we live trade every single day in the free section. So that's good stuff. We got a pretty big group, and we don't put up with no drama. Anytime there's a member with drama and being disrespectful to any of the other members, they basically get booted right away. We're all mature adults. We're all here to make money, and we don't put up with that with the drama. And we try and keep it as professional as possible, because everyone's here to make money. Okay, just got to treat it like a business, right? But I appreciate the kind words, Matt Deal. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So I'll give it a couple more minutes. We got FedEx on the move, trying to make another high in after hours. It's right there. It's getting close. Okay, it just hit 297. Take a look at the order book here. We do got a pretty good order size at sitting there at 294. Order of about 2,000 there. We'll see if that ends up getting filled, or if they pull the order. Well, sometimes that happens. But looking at the order book, got a book of about 50 here, and you can obviously see the imbalance in the order book. Look, it's plain as day. Just pull up your order book and look at it. There's way more people on the bid than the ask. So there's no reason to be shorting this right now. Okay. If this order book if the imbalance flips to the ask and the sellers, maybe consider shorting it. But it looks like they had some really solid earnings and solid forward guidance, and you can just look at the order book from a bird's eye view and tell that this thing's going to keep going. Just made another new high, 298.89. So, be honest with you, I'm gonna adjust my fib to this next higher level here. It was 298.89. It just made a new high. So heck yeah. Matt Deal, looks like you're gonna have a nice payday tomorrow. Congrats, man, or ma'am. I'm not sure. Just call you by your name. So looking good there. Nike still flat. It's like watching paint dry at this point. Investors are just going to have to wait until the 5 p.m. call with the CEO for the move to happen. So that's the deal with FedEx. Obviously, just to summarize, FedEx, they beat EPS by a lot. They missed revenue by just a tiny bit, but obviously good forward guidance, and we're seeing a positive reaction. Nike was a little volatile, up and down. Now it's back to being flat. They beat EPS and beat revenue, but they're flat. So when they released the earnings data, they must have not put anything in there for forward guidance as far as the data goes. And I have a feeling the CEO is going to talk about the guidance, and that's probably what everyone's waiting for here. So with that said, yeah, a little after 4:30 p.m. Eastern, I do have to run back to our Discord group for a private stream that I do with them. So again, if you're interested in joining our group, link in the description. It's free to join. We look forward to seeing y'all there. We live trade every single day. And for anyone new that's watching, I do this every week on YouTube and Twitter. I pick two tickers out, two popular, tickers or big companies that are going to be releasing earnings. And usually I either do it on Wednesdays or Thursdays. It's usually one of those 2 days. And every single week I'm on here talking about these two, the two tickers I pick out, talking about the price reaction, the reaction to the price of the earnings data. And then we kind of deep dive a little bit into, previous earnings reactions and stuff like that. And then I usually always have a trade for one of the tickers. And today's trade was for Nike. Okay. So that's what we got there. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. I'll be back again next week. And like I said, if you want to join our group, we look forward to seeing you. I hope everyone enjoys their night, and we'll chat with everybody later. Cheers.